Welcome to the Raise Your Bars podcast, where it's all about elevating your life one step at a time. With your hosts, Chris Baker and Al Rattan. Together, we're here to guide you through the transformative journey of self-improvement and success. Have you ever wondered what behaviors and actions you need to change to achieve the results and success you desire in life? Well, you're in the right place. Each episode, we dive deep into the strategies, mindset shifts, and practical steps you can take to raise your bars. From personal development to professional growth, Chris and Al share their expertise, experiences, and the occasional tough love, all designed to empower you to reach your full potential. So, whether you're looking to make a big change or simply fine-tune your path to success, grab a seat and let's raise those bars together. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Chris Baker and Al Rattan.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Raise Your Bars podcast. I'm here with my good friend, Chris Baker. Chris, how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. We've finally got some rain in Florida, so the grass is growing again, which is nice. But
that's nice. We're like in drought situations here. There's grass fires and forest fires happening all around us. There has been no rain for probably about a month. The grass is brown. Rain in the forecast tonight and tomorrow, lots of it. So we're going to go from nothing to probably some overland flooding, but at least the fires will be put out. So, I mean, we'll deal with the water as it comes. But my goodness, we are in desperate need of water here in Manitoba, Canada right now. So I'm glad you got some. We're supposed to get some. But we'll move on from that. We're here for Module 3, Lesson 2 of our Mindset Mastery series. And today we are talking about nurturing a creative mindset. And it's a really good lesson. And we just want to remind you folks, if you haven't already, go over to Facebook and search for the Raise Your Bars Personal Growth Solutions Facebook group. And you can get the worksheets to work alongside this lesson tonight. So you might want to pause and go do that. And again, if you're listening to this on a podcast platform or on YouTube or on Facebook, please subscribe, join. We want to continue to add value and grow our audience. And we're really, truly grateful for those of you that have already subscribed and joined and are following along. We are very appreciative of you. So thank you very, very much for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about, like I said, this nurturing a creative mindset. So our learning objective for this one is to expand and develop your creative mindset, even if you always thought you were not a creative person. Now, an important part of nurturing a creative mindset is to take the mystery out of it. Creativity doesn't have to follow a sudden flash of insight or intense preparation or take place in an artist's studio or on a mountain retreat. It's a process that can be applied at any time to any creative endeavor. So the creation process, we're going to talk about that for a moment. We want to take the mystery and fear out of creativity by following this simple step-by-step process for any creative challenge or endeavor. The act of creation doesn't have to be complicated, elusive, or perfectly timed. We just need to start.
Absolutely. Just get going. So first of all, what do you need to do? Well, you need to identify the problem or the challenge that you're facing. What do you want to do or create? What are you trying to accomplish? Is there a story that you need to tell or an image you want to bring to life? Maybe a product that you want to bring to market or a habit you'd like to break, a shortcut you want to develop. It doesn't matter what it is, but clearly define your ideal end result. The second stage is to brainstorm. This is basically generating ideas. Now, keep in mind the lessons that you learned from the 30 circles exercise. Work to create as many distinct ideas as possible. Don't worry about creating polished concepts or fully developed ideas. Don't listen to your inner critic. Let your mind wander, but move quickly from one idea to the next and don't censor yourself. Just write everything down.
Chris, can I just jump in for a minute? That inner critic, I can't tell you how many times my inner critic has gotten to me
Yeah,
over the
sure.
years and derailed me from the plans or the goals or the dreams or the desires that I was working towards. And, maybe how have you overcome that inner critic at times?
I mean, it happens to all of us, right? And it happens to us still, as we do that. And really, I think for me, it's again a question of going back within myself and just really sitting on the concept of why do I do what I do, right? Why do
Hmm.
I want to do
Hmm.
this? Why is it important? Um, and it could be something about, I don't know, getting fit, right?
Right.
And like I want to go and run, but then I always find excuses or reasons not to. Um,
Yeah.
so then it's like, well, how do I get fit? And so
Hmm.
look at those, and again, what's being honest with myself about what's getting in the way, right?
Right.
What's
Right.
stopping me doing it, and then again, like sitting back and getting into the why do I want to do it, and then saying, okay, if you want to do it, it means enough to you, Chris. How are you going to find a way of doing it, right? So
Hmm.
it's really just, again, it's probably going back to the start, right? So if your inner critic comes in, it's go back and again identify the problem or challenge, why it's important to you to overcome that problem or challenge. Um, and honestly, if it's not when you go through it, then find something else to overcome, right? Don't
Absolutely.
force yourself to do something that doesn't mean enough to you. So that's where I would say.
Yeah. Amazing. Thanks.
Yeah. Um, which basically leads on to step 3, right? Step away from the creative problem, move on to something else. Just let your ideas percolate. Better yet, sleep on it, if you can. It may feel like you're wasting your time, but really you're not. While you're otherwise occupied, your mind is actually working behind the scenes. It is coming up with more creative solutions and connections.
The next step, we're going to piece it all together. With some distance, your mind will start to make connections and come up with creative solutions. One idea will stand out among the rest, and the answer you're seeking will actually make itself known. And then we move on to evaluating. Evaluate your ideas and compare it to the alternatives. Does it answer the initial problem? Does it align with your vision? If it's a creative problem related to your business, conduct some market research and share your ideas with the team. You'll either decide to revisit the problem and go through the process again, or you'll move forward with your idea. And then we bring our idea to life. Get to work developing and creating your final product. It might be an ad campaign, a short story, a blog post, design, illustration, playlist, meme, spreadsheet, schedule, song, building plan, sitemap, whatever you set out to create. And then we refine, adjust, edit, revise. No matter what you create, it won't be perfect. And that's okay. You just need to get started. Ideas are always evolving and growing.
I think that's a crucial point there, Al. If we should pause on that for a moment, because too many people, me included in the past, get so hung up about how we're going to do this, right?
Mhm.
And and then we're trying to find that perfect solution. But as I tell my training classes now at Disney, I'm what I call a recovering perfectionist, because I honestly believe in continuous improvement. And if we believe in continuous improvement, therefore by default, perfection can't exist, because perfection
Exactly.
means can't get any better than this, right? So, I'm sort of famous within our team now for saying, hey, 80% is good enough to get started. Right.
Right.
So now they don't like it because they want it to be 100%. And so honestly, it will never be 100%. So, excuse me, 80%, let's get started. It doesn't mean we keep going at 80% or we accept 80%,
Mm-hmm.
right? It means that we work it, and then we do this step 7, we adjust, we edit, we revise, we reiterate it. We're always looking for how can we make it better. And eventually it'll get to 81%, 82%,
Right.
85%, whatever, right? But we accept it will never be 100% because we always want that continuous improvement.
That's that old strive for excellence thing, right? You'll never reach
Exactly.
perfection, but strive for excellence.
Exactly. That's exactly the term we use now. So
Mhm.
it raises the question then of how to get into a creative mindset. Well, the fact is, as we've said already, you don't need special qualifications. You don't need a certain job title, a call-in, or an artist studio. But there are things that you can do to foster a creative mindset. One of the most difficult is this first part: be willing to be vulnerable. Now, Brené Brown says vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. So being vulnerable involves emotionally exposing yourself, letting yourself be seen, and stepping out of that comfort zone. Now, obviously, it comes with risks, but it also opens you up to the possibility of fulfillment, happiness, and success. Creativity requires vulnerability to thrive. Think about what it feels like to sing in front of an audience, pitch a new idea, publish a deeply personal blog post, or just simply show people the thing you've made or the idea you've come up with. You have to be okay with the possibility of rejection, of misinterpretation, or indifference. And this willingness to be vulnerable can improve your ability to access a creative mindset. It fosters an authentic collaboration, listening, and sharing.
The next, we need to boost our confidence. A prerequisite for being vulnerable is having confidence in your creative output. As children, we unabashedly shared our ideas and scribbles and pretended we were superheroes or the family pet. Or the family pet. And as we got older and received feedback from teachers and classmates and parents, or started to unfavorably compare ourselves with others, we learned to stifle our creativity and our ideas weren't well received. We started labeling people as creative or uncreative. So start small and go out on a limb. Create for your own consumption, and then introduce your ideas to other people step by step.
Yeah. And I'd say there, Al, as well, if anybody is doubting that fact that we all are born with creativity in us, just go and watch children. Observe them, see what they do, listen to the stories they tell, the games they play. They honestly feel that anything is possible. And it's only when they get to their sort of teenage years that we sort of drum that out of them and tell them to be not be so vulnerable, right? To be cautious, to be afraid of failure or whatever. Well, no, embrace that, all right? And so that third stage is develop self-awareness. Identify your optimal conditions for creativity. So it could be that you are more creative first thing in the morning, all right, just after lunch, in the evening, whatever it is, all right. What time of day is your optimal condition for creativity? What is the environment? What is the location? And many more things. So do other people and lively conversations inspire you? Or do you like to be alone with your thoughts? I know for me, honestly, I like to be alone with my thoughts. I find that all those lively conversations, they're distracting and they take away my creativity. So it could be that you have a combination, right? It could be that you have that sort of mastermind type of conversations to inspire you, but then you go away and you get alone with your thoughts, and then that turns into creativity. It's going to be different for all of us. So what does it look like for you? Maybe you like music softly playing in the background, or the buzz of a coffee shop, or again, absolute silence. As we said earlier, are you a morning person or a night owl? Now, the next stage is be ready to record your ideas. We've got so many options available to now to do that, right? There's the good old pen and paper, or you can keep your smartphone handy to type notes or record your ideas. If you do that, make sure the app or the voice recording tool or memo icon is on your smartphone's home screen and easily accessible, so that when these ideas come for you, you're not like fumbling around trying to find it. You can press a button and capture it while it's still live. Right. There's other things you can use, other online note-taking software like Notion, Obsidian, or Evernote. Whatever it is that helps you keep track of your ideas for later use, that's the thing that you should try. These apps, for example, allow you to hyperlink to videos or blog posts and keep notes, ideas, or maybe inspirational images by project.
Yeah, so good. And make note of energizers and vampires. What do we mean by that? Well, who inspires you and who brings you down? Do you have a playlist or an Instagram influencer that generates ideas for you? What saps your energy? Do you feel demotivated or depressed when you watch cable news? I know I do. I try to avoid it at all costs. Avoid negative influences, especially when brainstorming or creating. And now question what you see. When mulling over an idea or brainstorming solutions, ask yourself basic questions about what you believe to be true. Am I seeing this correctly? Is it saying what I think it's saying? Or have I read this situation wrong?
I think that's a key thing as well, Al, right? Because too many of us, I think, go with the first thing that pops in our head, right? And we think, oh, that's there, that must be it. Let's go with it. And even when things start going maybe not as planned, it's like, oh, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's continue with it. And it's like time to take that time out and stop and reflect. And maybe this is when you bounce it off other people, right? And say, hey, what do you think? I know we do that with things, ideas that we're having, and it's invaluable. So,
absolutely,
the next stage is challenge the usual way of doing things. You know, one of the biggest frustration phrases that I get is like, "Hey, we've always done it that way, so that's how we're doing it." Or another is, "We've tried it before and it didn't work, so we're not going to do it." Well, okay, you got to challenge that, right? Is there a different way? Just because it's always been done that way doesn't mean it's still the right way. You know, be courageous and dismantle regular procedure and processes. Make a list of the steps involved and actually question each one step by step. All right. So again, don't just look at the start and the finish of the process. Look at what are each of the steps along the way. Right? And it may be that you have to break things before you can fix them.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, again, I look at that a little bit like I use GPS system a lot, right? So if you think of your process as a GPS and navigation system, you know, you got your starting point, you've got your destination. You say, okay, I've got this all, and you start going. You may have all those steps and those turns, like the GPS has got all those steps and turns. But if there's an accident, or if there's a roadworks or something, does the GPS just say, well, I've already got all these steps and plans out, so we'll just get there, and when we get to that, we'll just wait until it clears and then we'll start going again? No, it looks ahead and it's saying, okay, that next step is not going to work, so what can we do to get around that but still take us towards our final destination, right?
Exactly.
That's what you're looking at with this too. You know, as Al said earlier, be mindful of what you consume. You know, if creativity in part relies on taking two unrelated ideas and putting them together to make something new, then make sure that your sources of information and inspiration are relevant. Make sure they're uplifting and make sure they're first rate. Mm-hmm. This is why, again, I tend to, as Al says, I don't really watch the news, to be honest. And, you know, I try and stay away from any of these things on social media. It's very difficult with social media now to know what's real and what's AI generated.
Oh my goodness.
You know, AI is so realistic, right? So just be very, very careful of that.
Yeah.
You know, that now, you know, you can also listen to podcasts or read up on studies, watch movies, blog posts, novels. There's some of the examples that content that you can be inspired by. But again, just be careful of what you're listening to, because not everything there is going to be inspirational, take you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Another good tip is don't limit what you listen to or read to your industry or field. You know, go outside your area of expertise, get out of your comfort zone, and you'll probably find that there's things that somebody else is doing in a totally unrelated field that may actually help you and give you inspiration and ideas.
So good, yes. The next thing, we need to be okay with uncertainty. Okay, nothing comes to you fully formed and ready to publish or share. Creativity is a process of refining and editing and expanding until you reach an outcome you're pleased with. So if you want to embrace the creative mindset, you have to be okay with uncertainty and rough, unfinished ideas. And then be disciplined. Everybody's favorite word, Chris, discipline. Yeah. Creativity isn't about a flash of inspiration or making something on a whim. You need to be prepared to sit down and create even when you're not in the mood. Self-discipline is essential to fostering a creative mindset. I know for me, when we went over the different things, I could not be creative in a coffee shop. I am too easily distracted and I like to people watch. So I'm looking at everything that's going on. when I need to get my head down and get to work, in the creative mode, I need to be in my office, the door closed, the phone turned over, the notifications turned off, and I need to focus because my I-type personality, very easily distracted. Chris, you know that about me.
Yep.
I get pulled off course. The next thing I know, I'm scrolling through TikTok videos and a half hour's passed and I haven't gotten anything down on paper. So I know for me, I need to work on the self-discipline and put these barriers in place so I can actually focus and get the work done.
Yeah, so true. So let's put it all together. A creative mindset relies on connecting thoughts, references, ideas, and skills. It will take courage, self-discipline, vulnerability, and faith in your creativity and ideas. In other words, believe in what it is you're doing and why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you pair creativity with a deliberately developed creative mindset, you can achieve extraordinary results in all aspects of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the key takeaways from today? Well, an important part of nurturing a creative mindset is to take the mystery out of it by following the process. Now again, it's a lot of people would try and take shortcuts, right? Or try to go from A to Z in one step. You can't do it, right? You've got to follow the process. The creative process involves identifying the problem, brainstorming, stepping away for a moment, making connections between your ideas, evaluating what it is you're working on, bringing it to life, and then keep refining it, right? Reviewing it, iterating it, editing it, make it better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you get into that creative mindset is by being more vulnerable, being more self-confident, being more self-aware, actually getting prepared to work on it, being mindful of what you're doing. And finally, that D word that I'll mention, be disciplined about what it is that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some action steps. So you want to run through any or say anything else? Sorry.
I just think that folks, you need to go download the worksheets and work through the action steps. There's quite a few for this particular lesson because we really want to stretch you and help you grow. So we're not going to read them all now. Yeah. That's not that exciting, but you can definitely read them by downloading the action guide sheets from our Raise Your Bars Personal Growth Solutions Facebook page. Yeah. Did you want to highlight any of these, Chris?
I just want to highlight one, right? I want to highlight that number 6.
Okay.
It's about shaking up your routine, right? Getting out of the status quo there and doing something different, just to really challenge your mind, not to necessarily achieve something in a week, right? But this week, do one thing that you wouldn't normally do. Mm-hmm. Right, that maybe take a different route to work, or read a blog post outside of your area of expertise or interest, or order a meal that you've never had before. I just try something new. Go to a store that you've never been in before. Whatever it is, any of these things you can think about, and then write down your experience. Right, use your action guide. That write down what was it? What was the experience like? What did it feel like? Did it give you any confidence? Did it make you nervous? Did it give a sense of fear? And if so, well, what did you do about it, right? And how did you overcome it? Because if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten, mm-hmm. right?
Mm-hmm.
So
if you aren't happy with what you've gotten, you need to change some things that you're doing.
Exactly. Right. And I suggest, honestly, if you're listening to these lessons and you've got to the end here, you're probably not happy with what you've got, right? That's why you're looking at trying to change it. Exactly. So what are you going to do? Get outside of that comfort zone, do something different, whatever it is. I'll tell you, for me, for 2 years, I journaled every single day, and I hate journaling. Mm-hmm. Right. But I intentionally did it every single day, just like 2 pages of A5. I bought a new notepad and did that 2 pages of A5. And I was looking at reflecting on the previous day, and then looking at what was I grateful for. So you're creating that attitude of gratitude, which then nurtures creativity within you. And then it was like, what am I looking to achieve this week, right? Or what is something that I'm looking forward to? So again, you're reprogramming your mindset. Again, I'm not saying you have to go and journal, but what is it that you don't normally do that you can do something different to stimulate that creative thought process?
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you, Chris. Hey, everybody, we want to just, again, thank you for tuning in. We are sincerely appreciative of you showing up and listening in or watching. And I just want to talk for just a moment. If you're a business owner and you are looking to grow your bottom line profits in 2025 and beyond, regardless of what's going on out there in the economy and tariffs and no tariffs and trade wars and no trade wars and all that other stuff, Chris and I can help. Go to raiseyourbars.com and watch our short 8-minute webinar and then book an appointment with us. We'd love to hop on a call with you and show you what we can help you achieve in 2025 and beyond. And definitely, our commitment is to help you find at least 25% more profit in your business as a minimum. So again, raiseyourbars.com, head over there, check it out and book a call with us. We'd love to hop on and hear your story and show you how we can help you achieve amazing things in your organization this year and beyond. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have an amazing day. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Raise Your Bars podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please consider sharing it with your family, friends, and coworkers. We would sincerely appreciate it.